Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz, and we welcome you to Darling Stadium for tonight's contest between the 2-0 Hampton Crabbers and the 1-1 Kecoughtan Warriors. And, Bob, this is a very important game for both of these teams tonight because another loss for Kecoughtan could doom their playoff opportunities, even though we're still very early into the season.
Well, that's true, but let's talk about Hampton. But first, Tim, Hampton 2-0 coming in. They've only allowed 66 yards per game for the two games that they've played on defense. So their defense is playing real good. This will be the first time we get to see Mike Roberts. They've had a quarterback, a freshman, 14-year-old youngster, has done real well. But I'm interested to see how Mike Roberts is going to react. And I asked Mike Smith, I says, did he get hit when he broke his leg? He says, no, somebody fell on it in a scrimmage. So, it's not like he's afraid to get hit. Kid's got a good arm, as we saw that last year.
Well, now the Hampton Crabbers defense has been very strong so far. They've only allowed 5 points a game on the defensive side of the ball. So they, as usual, are strong in that area. Now, Kecoughtan has struggled on offense, and this is where they're going to have to play better if they're going to beat Hampton.
Well, they have 7 players going both ways, and their big player, Jared Mayo. Now, Jared runs the fullback, runs one of the outside linebackers. He's on the field virtually all the time. And I asked Tommy Austin about that this week, and he said, we're trying to spell him some, get him some breathing, get him off the field for a little while, because you just wear out by the time the fourth quarter runs around. But Kecoughtan needs to get their offense running. Their defense is a little different this year. They're running 4-3. They're a little quicker than they have been, but they do need to get some offensive output and give that defense a breather.
Well, you just can't have your defense playing all the time, like you said. Now, Mike Roberts, going back to Hampton a little bit, he hasn't played until this game.
That's correct.
And so this has really been kind of a break for Hampton, because they really should have played 4 games at this point, or at least 3.
Right.
And because of the Hurricane Isabel, the schedule has been all thrown into
we'll get
kilter.
into that before the night's out. But Mike could have played last week.
Mm-hmm.
And they played last week. He could have gone. The doctor gave him the okay to play. So really, it's the break has really helped him be able to. He's better shape now than he probably would have been if he started a week ago. But they've got a young man by the name of Todd Nolan, has caught 7 passes already this year in 2 games for 224 yards. That's just phenomenal. The young man has got great hands. They really love him. And, you look when you can pass and get the ball to your man, you can run it, because it opens it up.
Let's go down to the field and see if we've got Charlie Davidson mic'd up as the pregame ceremonies are going on.
Captain Gaddis and Captain McMillan. Shake hands, guys.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Darling Field for tonight's Peninsula District varsity football game.
Tonight we have white and green. Have a penalty situation. I will call the captain to come to me. Let me tell you what the penalty situation is. Some penalties have several options. Make sure you understand what your options are before you give me your choice. Because once you give me your choice, that's what we have to go with. Also, you are the captain of your team. If things start to get a little bit on the mouthy side out here, we're going to come to a captain and say, please take care of this. Please do. Because if you don't, then we'll have to, and you won't like the results. Okay, we're going to have a coin toss. Who's you going to call it? Okay, we'll have a head and a tail. I want you to call it right now. He called heads. If I drop it, I'll flip it again.
It's going to work out the next 4 days.
It's a tail. It's a tail. You won the toss. You want your options are to defer to this half to the second half, and your options are to receive, kick, or defend the goal.
Defer to the second half.
You want to defer.
Kecoughtan has won the toss.
Okay. You want the ball? Which goal do you want to defend?
We want our backs to the scoreboard.
You want to kick? You want to kick this way then? Okay. Put your backs over there. You come over here with me. Hampton will receive for the first half. Okay, guys, let's shake hands and have a good game.
We want to give a chance. We'll talk about our sponsors as soon as Scotty gives us the word on that. Got a birthday boy out there.
Yeah, Charlie Davidson, our referee, who you just listened to, doing an excellent job as always, having a birthday today. So we want to wish Charlie happy birthday. And the rest of the crew tonight. Philip Mitchell is your umpire. The linesman is George Webster. The line judge is Franklin Spruill. Field judge is Roland Parham, and Donald Foreman is the back judge for tonight's contest. These are all officials of the Peninsula Football Officials Association.
Tim, we will pick a player of the game from both of these teams tonight, and each player will receive a trophy and a shirt. The trophy comes from Trophy World. They're located on Newport News. For all your recognition awards, needs, trophies, plaques, custom engraving, contact Bob Hilling at 595-7354. Shirt comes from Tidewater Team Sports, your one-stop sports headquarters for screen printing, embroidering, uniforms, and apparel. Call 594-0411. Talk to Dave Chubb or Terry McNamara.
And tonight's contest is brought to you by Zooms with 14 convenient Peninsula locations. By Hampton Chevrolet. Give them a call at 838-5450. And in part by Parklawn Wood Funeral Home, where Nancy Staten is the manager. And now we invite you to join us for the playing of our national anthem.
Join us in the playing of our national anthem.
Got that out of the way, Tim.
Well, we didn't get that out of the way. That's an important part of the ceremony.
Play ball.
Right.
One thing we do need to let the fans know, they come into a ball game. All games on the peninsula, in the Peninsula District now, are going to start at 7 o'clock rather than 7:30. So you need to get here early. And don't forget to support your school.
And I've been waiting now for several weeks to be able to tell you that this is a perfect night for football.
Oh, isn't this nice?
It's crisp and cool. And yes, we're going to give you the starters tonight for the Hampton Crabbers on offense.
Robert Taylor, senior. Dominic White, junior. Tim Richardson, sophomore.
Traval Bronson, senior. Eli Farrell, senior. Charles Robinson, senior.
Todd Nolan, junior. Devin Branch, junior.
Andre Schuler, senior. Derek Fairley, senior. Michael Roberts, senior.
Good look at the Hampton Crabbers offensive starters.
Bob, as I get older, the high school guys look younger and younger. The senior quarterback, Roberts, for the Hampton Crabbers, looks very young.
Yes, he does. They're seniors. That backfield with Schuler, Fairley, and Roberts, all seniors, but he's got some youngsters, juniors and sophomores on the other starters.
We'll have the starters on defense for the Kecoughtan Warriors right after the kickoff. But yes, game time temperature, the
low 60s
at best. Going to get a little chillier before the night is out. A breeze behind the backs of the Kecoughtan Warriors. They deferred, even though having won the coin toss, they deferred to the second half. So they'll be on defense to begin with the wind at their backs. We're just about set to get this one underway as Nicholas Alejandro has the ball teed up for the Warriors.
And it looks like Raymond Holloway, number 1, is the deep man for the Crabbers.
He is standing right at his 5-yard line. So we are set to go. The fans still trickling in here at Darling Stadium. Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, and the Channel 46 crew, delayed by Isabel, but we are back in business.
2 weeks we're delayed. I'm having withdrawal symptoms.
Amen. Not to mention the lack of power.
Well,
don't mention that.
Don't mention that.
All right, the kick is in the air. It's going to be fielded by Roberts at the 4-yard line. He's out to the 15, the 20, cuts to the right side, 25-30, 35-40, and then finally stopped at about the 42-yard line, wrestled to the ground by James Payne, number 82. So Raymond Holloway with a nice return from the 4-yard line all the way out to the 44. So that's going to be a 40-yard return. Here are the Warriors on defense.
Nathan Robertson, tight end, defensive tackle. Josh McCallum, defensive tackle, offensive guard.
Carl Craighead, wide receiver, defensive end.
Alan Weiss, defensive end.
Ryan Tillery, tailback, linebacker.
Gerard Mayo, fullback and linebacker.
Mike Gaddis, right guard, weak linebacker.
Lachey McMillan, quarterback and DB.
Calvin Irvin, wide receiver, cornerback.
Maurice Hawkins, running back, strong safety.
Tyree Barnes, wide receiver and free safety.
Look at those young men.
And we'll mention the coaching staffs for these two squads in just a moment. So the Crabbers on offense, first play, the handoff goes to number 8, Andre Schuler. And the senior running back, 6'2", 215-pounder, drags tacklers out close to midfield. He stopped just shy of the midfield stripe.
Tim, that was just a power play off the left side. That offensive line did a good job of controlling it right then and just pushed the Warriors back.
Gain of almost 8. So it's either a long 2 or a short 3, however you want to look at that.
Let's just say that they
there you
can
see
pick it up if they do half as good as they just did.
You saw the names of the officials. We gave you those names verbally a moment ago while they were all huddled at the middle of the field. Handoff goes, and it's going to be short of the first down. Nice defensive surge by the right side of the defensive line of the Warriors.
And the middle linebacker, Tillery, number 5, come barreling in there and hit him after somebody stood him up. Tim, if you look at Roberts' right leg, he's got a pad on that leg that was broken. He broke the fibula, which is the non-supporting bone on the, as you watch it, but you can't see it from that. There it is.
You see it on his right leg, yes.
And look at that hit by Tillery driving him backwards.
So it brings up a 3rd down and about a yard to go now with 10:30 remaining here in the first quarter, just underway from Darling Stadium. Roberts out of the shotgun, and the pitch. He's got the first down and plenty more. Left side across the 35, inside the 35-yard line. That was number 5, Derek Fairley.
And he's a 190, just 5'10". Tim, he shows some good power, dropped his shoulder and went right into the tackler. Watch the replay. Good job of Roberts pitching it out. And I'm sure the coaches would rather see him do that than run on that, because it's still got to be sore.
Interestingly, that there seemed to be no pursuit over there. There wasn't a lot of blocking. It looked as if Kecoughtan was anticipating a play to the other side.
Well, I think they were looking for him to come up the middle, Tim, because it was short.
Yep. 34-yard line is the first down spot for the Crabbers. And
Schuler
again,
in motion.
The handoff goes to Fairley. And Fairley picks up about 6.
And that was Mayo and Barnes, Tyree Barnes making the stop, Tim, but they picked up. Oh, Tommy Austin. Good shot there of Tommy Austin.
Okay, that's going to be second down and 2.
They marked the ball at the 26-yard line, so a gain of almost 8. There you see the scoreboard clock and the time remaining in the first quarter.
Well, if you remember when we did the last game, if you can remember back that far.
It was a long time ago.
Phoebus ran the ball right up the gut, and in Hampton watched that film, and they evidently see something that they can do going right up the middle.
Schuler in motion. Fairley gets the handoff, and he has the first down and plenty more as he is stopped about the 17-yard line, and that'll again move the chains for the Hampton Crabbers.
Well, he picked up, about 7 yards, and your middle linebacker, Tillery, who was right up there on the line of scrimmage, made the tackle, Tim, but that's 6-7 yards down the field.
Here's the replay, and you see some big holes for the running back Fairley to go through.
The Crabbers are looking real sharp this, after that layoff we had.
Roberts under center. He gives to Fairley, and Fairley stacked up after a short gain this time as he will carry the ball to about the 15-yard line, a pickup of about 2.
Well, number 66, Dominic White, the right guard, pulled that time. Got a good block on the outside linebacker, but the middle linebacker, Tillery, came in there with a little help from the cornerbacks.
We've played 3.5 minutes, and the Crabbers, moving smartly down the field, have a second down and about 8 at the 15-yard line. No score. This game videotaped on October the 3rd, 2003. There you see the score and the down and yardage up in the right-hand corner. Pitch back is mishandled as the pitch was behind the running back, and he was alertly able to fall on the ball. That was Derek Fairley who recovered the fumble, and the Crabbers will lose yardage on the play but keep possession.
Well, that was out of the shotgun formation, and that's just timing. When you haven't played in the game situation all year, and we're really 4 weeks into the season, but only 2 games under the belt, and that was, like you said, just a little back behind him. You got to lead your pitch man a little bit.
3rd down and 11 for Hampton. Passing down, play action, and the pass left flat is completed, but not enough for a first down as the ball is thrown to Andre Schuler coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, just a little swing pass, Tim. They're trying to get him out there a little bit one-on-one with a halfback, but a cornerback, but it didn't work there.
You see it from the ground level, but he was in heavy traffic. Yeah. He made a good job of getting the ball, controlling it, and then making sure he held on to it. So it brings up a 4th down, a very important play here. The Crabbers are not going
they may try
a
to
field goal.
Pull them offside, Tim.
Well, they need less than 5 yards, so look for the hard count. Of course, the Crabbers, infamous or famous as the case may be for this, and it doesn't get the job done this time, as I'm sure Tommy Austin informed his Kecoughtan Warriors to be alert to that, and after a while, it isn't quite as effective as it was in the years past.
Well, you know, that's
it's worth
right.
a shot, though.
But Corey Johnson, number 899, who was the field goal kicker, I watched him out here, Tim. He was putting them out from the 35-yard line, which is a 45-yard field goal. Pretty accurate. He's got a good leg. And they're pretty well in the center of the field. They're not at one of the hash marks. So this may be a time where the coaching staff says, well, if we can draw them offside, we'll get the first down. If we don't, let's talk about maybe running and doing the field goal.
There you see the Kecoughtan side of the field. Good crowd on hand on a chilly October night. And the Hampton crowd on the other side of the field still filing in as both teams' fans haven't quite probably adjusted to the new starting time. We were asked why this was, and we understand the south side has been having a 7 o'clock start time for quite some time, that the Peninsula District was eventually going to go to it and then just decided to go ahead and do it.
Well, they had all this other stuff to change in anyway.
All right, we got a double reverse to Holloway, and Holloway is in deep trouble.
Yeah.
He will not get back to the line of scrimmage, and the Warriors will hold on down.
It was a nice defense by the Warriors. They were not fooled by anything. Watch the setup here. Just nowhere for him to go.
Kecoughtan had proven to us in that Phoebus game that they have a very decent defense. They were against the reigning state champs and did a pretty good job. They didn't play poorly, even though the score would make you think otherwise.
Well, and you also remember in that game, Tim, they basically stopped the outside threat. They were Phoebus finally just went right up the gut on them and just beat them.
All right, we've got the offense on the field now. This is Mayo, and he's got running room across the 30-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 13 yards and a first down. All right, here are the Warriors on offense.
Lachey McMillan, quarterback and DB.
Maurice Hawkins, running back, strong safety.
Gerard Mayo, fullback and linebacker.
Calvin Irvin, wide receiver, cornerback.
Tyree Barnes, wide receiver and free safety.
Nathan Robertson, tight end, defensive tackle.
Derek White, center.
Mike Gaddis, right guard, weak linebacker. Josh McCallum, defensive tackle, offensive guard.
Jonathan Ash, offensive tackle.
Chris Calkins, offensive tackle.
And as you mentioned, Bob, a lot of these young men playing both sides of the ball, and that does have a telling factor. Although tonight the heat will not be a factor as it was in the first game we saw. This is Lachey McMillan, and he just took too long. That could be considered a coverage sack, as he is wrestled to the ground by Travar Broughton. And now the Crabbers starters on defense.
Dominic White, Jr.
Arthur Cypress, senior.
Travar Broughton, senior.
Tim Richardson, sophomore.
Charles Robinson, senior.
Jaswell Davis, senior.
Andre Schuler, senior. Derek Fairley, senior.
Raymond Holloway, senior.
Brandon Smith, senior.
Todd Nolan, junior.
And the starters on defense for Mike Smith's Hampton Crabbers. That's right, Mike Smith. If you didn't read the paper and you've lived in a cave for the last 6 months, Mike Smith, who unretired, and is again coaching the Hampton Crabbers. This pass by McMillan thrown very wildly into I'm not sure where.
They went over the tires. There's a good shot of Mike Smith there. Went over the head of the intended receiver. Back in a shotgun formation, McMillan was, and just kind of hurried the throw a little bit. And I don't
was
know
getting a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and I don't really know that the wind has got that much on it. But you're right. You can see he was under pressure.
So 3rd down and 21 to go for the Kecoughtan Warriors. 5:10 remaining in the first quarter. Scoreless from Darling Stadium. Out of the shotgun, McMillan takes the snap. Looking to pass or run, throws, almost had it picked off as the ball went through the hands of Charles Robinson, the defender. And if he had hauled that one in, Bob, there was no one between him and the end zone.
He would have waltzed in. Watch the replay of this.
Warriors dodged a big bullet here. As this ball, look at this. I mean, he just right off the tips of his fingers.
And had the other guy not jumped, the offensive guy could have caught it.
Yep.
But he was coming down.
So McMillan now will be in deep punt formation for Kecoughtan. And back deep to receive the punt will be number 21, Brandon Smith, for the Hampton Crabbers. Crabbers look like, well, he got a fake. And now he actually decides to kick it.
And you can do that.
Yeah, it looks very effective. Now, he had contact, but once he starts running, he loses the status of a kicker. Is that correct?
No, he does. He does not. That was one thing I talked to McCula about. He is still a kicker. If he is kicking the ball and you hit him without touching the ball, it's still a penalty.
Now, see how I set you up for that? That was just perfect.
Yeah, we had that one other time a couple years ago with Phoebus, and I said, tell me about this.
Well, let's see if we can see the contact, because he clearly was knocked down from behind. Yeah. Now, so was he? And he was in the motion of kicking.
Yeah, I see that.
I mean, there was clear contact. He didn't just fall down from.
He was running. I guess I don't know. Mike Roberts throws it up. Got good coverage downfield. Nice defense
job of breaking up. That's Lachey McMillan, who was just momentarily shaken up after being the punter, and he had perfect coverage and deflected the pass. Great defensive effort by McMillan.
It really was.
That's as well as you can play that. He's only 5'8", 142 pounds.
But good timing on that. Hampton Chevrolet Jeep Mazda, located at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. Give them a call, 838-5450. And don't forget Zooms, our friends at Zooms.
I can use some of that Zooms Beantown coffee tonight. My fingers are a little chilly up here. Might have to close that door before we're through.
You want a Krispy Kreme donut?
Oh, yeah.
You'll get you a box in one.
Dunk some of those donuts in that coffee. That would be just perfect right now.
That would hit the spot.
And we've got a penalty flag for delay of game, I do believe.
You're right. Yep. That's what Charlie's telling us.
Crabbers took a little too long. Charlie Davidson, the husband, I assume he still is, to Betty Davidson of the Daily Press, who I've known for a long time.
You get a chance, you might want to give them an update on our schedule, Tim. It's been changed a little bit, and we're only going to do 6 games this year, but that's because of out of our control.
Yep, and this game, of course, between Hampton and Kecoughtan, and then the remaining games will be Hampton and Phoebus on the 17th of October. Then on the 24th, Kecoughtan will host Bethel as we watch Fairley carry the ball back to basically the line of scrimmage, the original line of scrimmage. So the 24th of October, it'll be Kecoughtan hosting Bethel. And then on the 7th of November, it'll be Phoebus hosting Bethel. And then our final regular season game, as you watch the replay, will be Hampton-Bethel. That'll be the game we would have done last week, but it was rescheduled because of the hurricane.
Young lady by the name of Isabel.
Yeah, but don't forget, the game time for the balance of the season for evening games will be 7 p.m. So don't wait until 6:45 to leave for the stadium, because you'll miss part, if not all, of the first quarter. 3rd down and about 9. Over the middle, almost picked off. as getting a hand on it was the aforementioned Byron Tillery.
Oh.
He was actually kind of surprised when the ball came at him because he wasn't really ready for it.
But he did what he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
He's supposed to drop back, and you see him right there.
Mm-hmm.
Got his right hand on it, but again, he was moving away from that area, and you're a little surprised.
Well, I want to correct myself because he did very cognizantly knock that ball down.
Yeah.
It looked like he was kind of waving at it, but he was kind of going to his left. The ball was behind him, so he just reached back. Because if you watch that replay again, you'll see the receiver was open.
Yeah, he sure was.
And good job by Tillery. Oh, they're on the ball. He just got it away. I'm not even sure how he got it away, as there were no less than 4 green-shirted Kecoughtan Warriors all over the punter.
Well, Tim, they didn't go to where the foot was going to meet the ball. They were looking at the player.
Watch this replay.
You got to go to where he's going to be kicking the ball.
I mean, they were there. There was 2 guys behind him when he kicked the ball. So if they'd gone for, as you say, where the ball is going to meet the foot, I think they could have blocked that one. I was amazed it wasn't blocked.
Yeah.
That wasn't a particularly long punt, but it was a lot better than having it go in the opposite direction.
Yeah, because it could have very well gone down towards their goal line.
You saw the scoreboard, still scoreless with 3:54 remaining here in the first quarter, as the Warriors now take over for the second time from their 40-yard line.
Still in that shotgun formation.
Shotgun, and this is McMillan faking. Now he wants to throw. He dumps it off for Mayo, just a little too high for Jared Mayo to bring it in. It falls incomplete.
That was a great call. Mayo was wide open because he faked the handoff to Mayo, and then he didn't get the ball. Watch this thing. He'll fake the handoff, and then he just bootlegs it. Just a little old nice pass. And Mayo left his feet a little too soon that time, but I thought that was a nice call.
It was an excellent call, and I will, to the defense of these young men, they have not practiced but just a couple of days in the last 2 weeks. So you lose that edge that you work so hard in the summertime to get.
Yeah, and you're going to play again Wednesday.
Yep. And again Saturday.
Yeah.
Right?
It just really it blows my mind that they're going to play three games in 8 or 9 days. It just blows my mind.
Well, they're going to play either Friday, which of course this game was being played on, and Saturday, and then they'll all come back and play Wednesday, and then again on Friday and Saturday of next week.
Yep.
Well, I know you had to make it up. Then they've extended the season by 1 week as well.
Yeah. So actually, all they're doing is putting the game in the middle of the week. That's the first makeup game, and there'll be one here at 4 o'clock and one at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. In fact, we've got those. That's October
8th.
The 8th, we got the 4 o'clock game is Warwick and Bethel, and the 7 o'clock game is Menchville and Phoebus.
Here's the replay. By the way, when you say we've got it, we don't mean we're covering it.
No,
we
you
mean
can come. I'm going to be here.
Yeah, they will be here, but Channel 46 will not be covering those games.
That's correct.
And a timeout has been taken by the Kecoughtan Warriors, so each team now has burned one of their 3 timeouts, and it comes with 3:01 left, and someone's calling home to check on the babysitter. Got that phone up there. What did we do before we had cell phones? That's all I
don't know. And what is it that
There's another guy with a cell phone.
How many people do we have to talk to that we didn't talk to before, but now we have to talk to them? It blows my. You can't get into a car nowadays without seeing somebody talking while they're trying to turn and drink some coffee.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, you don't go to Virginia Beach every day I do.
I know you
I watch
must see
them putting makeup on with one hand, talking on the phone with the other, and people doing 75 miles an hour down the interstate.
I saw a young lady going down the road, phone on her thing, and then trying to open up a drink, take the top off a drink, and drive. And say, how you could use 2 hands to take the top off.
And I don't understand, officer, why I had this accident.
Yeah, what did I do? They're going for it.
It's 4th down and about 3. And the Warriors appear to be going out of the shotgun. They are. And McMillan still has the football, and he is not.
He got it.
They got him. Nope, they stopped him.
You're not going to give him the spot.
They're going to give him the initial spot. They're going to say he was down shy of midfield. And Tommy Austin and the coaching staff for the Warriors says, why? We'll get a chance to watch it again because
if his knee
he got
was
it on
down.
Second effort. Let's see. Now, he's got the ball coming at you. Let's see if his knee goes down, and that's a good call.
Yeah,
there it is. His knee
his
right
knee
there.
was down. In fact, he got a generous spot.
Yep. His knee went down, although it was a little difficult to see.
Well, with his knee down and the ball out,
Yeah.
that's a good spot.
Yep.
And although the Kecoughtan coach is saying, no way, Jose.
Yeah,
he got it across the
It looked like he got it on second effort, but once your knee is down, second, third, fourth efforts don't count. That's the bottom line to all of that.
But, you know, in all fairness, McMillan, great job of knowing where he had to go to stretch for it, even though he had a knee down.
Now
Great job.
That wind is in the face of Roberts and the Hampton Crabbers. Inside handoff goes to Schuler, and Schuler will get to about the 45-yard line, so gain of about 4.
Just a whole gaggle of
warriors. That's a wicked of no. What would be a bunch of warriors? Tribe.
A war party.
A war party is something like that. We can get in serious trouble if we keep this up. So we'll just
the gaggle wasn't real good.
That's a geese.
That wasn't real goosey, was it?
All right. Gain of about 4. Second down and 6. Clock moving with 2:15 remaining in a scoreless first period. Hampton with the ball. Mike Roberts seeing his first action of the season over center. He fakes, wants to throw, and then he's decked. Beautiful defensive play coming in untouched. Carl Craighead, 6'3", 190. The senior was there to stop Roberts before he could throw it. And that was a good play by Roberts not to throw that ball up because he probably would have had it picked off. Watch this defensive effort.
Fake, but he just sidestepped the blocker.
No time to unload as Roberts took the hit, and the ball moves back on the Hampton side of center field. And now it's third down and about a dozen to go.
Center field. And that sounds like baseball.
Center of the field.
But what I heard was baseball. That baseball is being played right now.
Yes, it is. But we don't have any scores for them because that game has already been played by the time they see this.
That is correct.
And now the Crabbers will pick up another 5-yard penalty for delay of game. So that's their second of that nature here in the first quarter. And that's got to displease the coaching staff. It's tough enough when it's third and dozen, but you don't want to add 5 more to it.
No.
So neither team has looked particularly sharp here.
Well, Hampton did at the beginning. They're moving them.
Well, if I'd been able to finish.
I'm sorry.
I was going to say
5 yards, still third down.
that they did, except for that first drive, but then it bogged down, and the Warriors see that long to develop reverse that they did just didn't work out. Sometimes it works real well, and other times it kills you.
You know, and it may come back to Hunter, but I think they could have got 3, put 3 on the board, and that would have been better for them.
Yep. Now it's third down and 17 to go. Roberts drops back, has some time this time, and has a man open, but just incomplete, just off his fingertips. That was Todd Nolan, kind of behind him and a little tall for him, but there was a reasonably, possibly catchable ball. It wasn't the best throw. See, he was just kind of falling backwards at the same time.
Well, he had to stop because he was really, if he wasn't being led, and that makes a big difference.
And kind of a swirling breeze down there, so it's a lot more difficult than one might think. It's not a roaring wind like we experienced 2 weeks ago yesterday, but now the Crabbers.
Did we get a little wind 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago we did, yes. And again, a good rush by the Warriors. This time the punt is taken on the dead run. Lachey McMillan, and he is stopped cold after he reaches about the 38-yard line. So they'll give his forward progress to that point. So it's been a kicking game so far, as neither team has been able to get into the score column, as they've each moved the ball fairly well, but no score.
Well, he caught this on a dead run. If he could have found a seam, he would have picked up some good yardage, but great coverage by the Crabbers.
So McMillan caught the ball on the punt. Now he will be over center or under center, as the saying goes. Actually, he won't now. He'll be in the gun again.
They've been running out of that shotgun.
Man in motion to the right side. The handoff goes to Mayo. Jared Mayo gets a couple of yards as the big 6'3", 215-pound senior who plays very well on either side of the ball.
Well, that's number 7, Maurice Hawkins. That was number 7, the one who went in motion, I believe, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Here's your replay of Mayo's carry. So he gained about 4 on the play. Maybe 5. Actually,
That's
they
close
give
to
him
5,
almost
yeah.
5 if the marker on the far sideline is to be believed. Coming to the near side, split wide, is Kelvin Irving.
Now he's back under center.
Under center with a split with the I backfield. Mayo directly behind him. And the handoff goes to the second man through. And the ball brought out to about the 46-yard line. Ball carrier was Tillery.
And he's not run the ball a whole lot, but
we saw him run it a little bit at the Phoebus game.
Yeah, he likes contact. Man, because playing that middle linebacker, you better like contact.
Yes, you better. And that is the final play of the first quarter. So neither team able to punch the ball into the end zone or get a field goal attempt. And we've played one quarter. Our score, Kecoughtan 0 and Hampton 0.
Well, Hampton showed some real, I thought, good running and play calling going up on that first series they had the ball, and they got kind of bogged down a little bit. But you got to take your hat off to the defense of the Warriors. They're doing the job right now, keeping the Crabbers out of the end zone.
Well, you know, Kecoughtan has had a tough road to hoe to begin with here. They won their first game.
Yeah, with Nasman River.
Right, but then they had to take on the reigning state champion Phoebus Phantoms, and then the next game they take on the perennial champion Hampton Crabbers. So, I mean, you talk about having your toughest games at the early part of the season.
Well, and there should have been 2 other games in there somewhere before that.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You're right.
So the second quarter set to get underway as it is third down and a couple of yards to go for the Warriors. The handoff to Jared Mayo, and Mayo will get the first down on a good second effort, I believe. I'll wait for the spot of the ball, but yes, they do give us forward progress across the 48, and that should move the chains.
That was number 10, Davis, making the stop that time, but that was second effort. Watch it. Right there, he's hit, and then he picks up another.
Charlie. Come on, Charlie.
Well, it's his birthday. He wants to get some airtime. Give him a break, Tim.
Charlie.
Zoom is giving an award to the senior football player on each of the teams in Hampton this year who has demonstrated academic excellence. These players be awarded plaques at a school board meeting after the season. We'd like to thank David Allen and Zooms for their continued support to WHCS and our student athletes. And don't forget our other corporate sponsor, Hampton Chevrolet Jeep Mazda. Like a rock, they got pickups, new and used cars. Give them a call, 838-5450.
And as we had already been able to determine, of course, I'm sitting here right on the 48-yard line.
And he could have come over here and looked and said, okay.
If he had just waved up to me and said, Tim, what do you think? And I would have said, first down.
And he would have expected you to give him a birthday present.
Now, Charlie needed a little FaceTime, so we got him on there.
Okay. We'll help him out.
That's right.
Do all we can.
You don't get to be 29 every day. All right, on the first down, Lachey McMillan throws it up. It is picked off.
Looked like it got picked off.
It is picked off. Caught at the 25-yard line. The Hampton Crabbers pick it off. That is 21. That's Brandon Smith.
Yeah.
Here is the replay. McMillan had time this time, but he just threw it up into coverage, and his man had just as good a shot at it as the Crabber. Kelvin Irving was the intended receiver, but Brandon Smith was the receiver, in fact. And so now the Crabbers on the turnover take over at their 26-yard line.
And now they've got the wind at their back.
Yep.
And that may have held that ball up a little bit.
Yeah, it's, like I said, it's not a roaring storm out there, but the breeze is enough to move those flags pretty consistently. Pitch into the backfield is on the ground.
Oh.
Who's got it? No signal yet. The Warriors say they've got it, and
So
they
does
do.
Charlie.
So the Crabbers turn the ball over right after they get a turnover, and now the Warriors will have great field position inside the 17-yard line.
There we watch this coming down. Tim, that's twice he has pitched the ball
behind the
runner, and that's got to be timing.
I did not see who recovered it for the Warriors, but in any event, they have it in great field position at the Hampton 17-yard line. Out of the I formation, Mayo gets the handoff, and he's got a couple of yards. down to about the 13-yard line. So it'll be close to a pickup of about 4.
But Dominic White, number 66, hit him at the line of scrimmage, and then Derek Fairley finished him off, but he still picked up about 3 yards. If we got this on the replay or not, but you can see he got hit and then kept right on driving. That Mayo's a tough little ball player, and I noticed in the paper today, I think it was, there's quite a few programs out there that want him. One of them, Virginia Tech.
Back to the live action. The ball carrier is Maurice Hawkins. Yeah, you said a pretty good little ball
turnover.
player. Another turnover. The Crabbers come up with the loose ball. So 3 turnovers in just a matter of a minute and a half, and the Hampton Crabbers get it back.
Guess who got the turnover?
Who got the turnover?
21.
Again, Brandon Smith. You might want to put his name down there for a candidate for player of the game. A little early to make that decision, but
I know, but
that's two recoveries, one an interception, one a fumble recovery. So the play again continues to be sloppy. The field is in great condition. If anyone benefited from the layoff, it was the field, as we were talking about off camera. It's in great shape. When we were here the Monday before Isabel, we were here for the Kecoughtan Phoebus game, and the field was just saturated at the time. And of course now with about almost 2 weeks of little or no rain, it's been very prosperous, if you will, for the field to dry out. So a gain of about 2 yards on that play. 2nd down and 8 as we are at 10:10 to go in the first half. Still scoreless. Kecoughtan and Hampton. Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, and the Channel 46 crew coming to you from Darling Stadium in Hampton. Man in motion. Flag is down. Roberts' pass is picked off by Mayo. If this holds, it will be Kecoughtan ball. And there is a penalty flag on the play. I believe we might have illegal procedure against Hampton, but we'll let Charlie Davidson tell us. It is a penalty against Hampton, which obviously will be declined.
Huh?
So, and we got a Hampton Crabber down on the play and not getting up yet. So, hold everything to see. I can't see who it is from here. Maybe you can. Watch this replay.
Mayo went way up and got that. See him go up in there? Good timing on his part.
When you were talking about nice little player, 6'3", 215 is Jared Mayo.
And I was in the paper. It was like Virginia Tech, Tennessee, about 3 or 4 schools that are after him.
Water!
Charlie, turn your mic off.
No, it's not my
water anytime.
It's got to be in the truck.
Someone turned the mic off.
You can have water. Yeah.
Charlie wants water. Somebody get him water.
Water. I don't care if I ever see water again. Or ice. I wanted ice. Now I have 16 bags of ice in my freezer.
That's a big kid. That's one of the linemen down there.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure, has he suffered a cramp, or there's no one really? I haven't figured out why there's no one down. Now someone kneels down to talk to him.
Well, they were talking to him earlier, but don't we have we got a truck up the end there. He's not moving his right leg at all.
We can't tell from here.
It's one of his big linemen, and I'm don't want to say.
I don't know, but they're taking their sweet time about getting the stretcher over there.
He's a big kid, so you know it's. Just hope it's not a serious thing.
Well, because if it's serious, the guy dragging the stretcher might pick up the pace just a little bit. Got one hand in his pocket. I think he's.
Well, he want to keep his hand warm, I guess.
Well, now they're going to help him to his feet, and maybe they won't need the stretcher after all. Now they bring the stretcher out.
It looks like 60 what?
66. I think you were right to begin with. I think it's Dominic White.
And young man who is I picked him up pulling a couple times on the offensive guard position, and he also plays defensive guard, so he's playing both sides of the ball, offensive and defensive guard. But it's good to see him walk off in his own power. I'm glad he didn't have to wait too long for the stretcher.
If he'd been bleeding, he would be dead by now.
Well, I don't know. He'd had to mop up the field or something.
It's easy to sit up here and be critical, you know. You ever notice that? Kecoughtan with the ball now on a 1st and goal as the ball is just inside the 10-yard line on that fumble recover, or excuse me, the interception rather, by Jared Mayo.
And he was the one that just run the ball. Trevor Broughton is a young man who was in on that tackle, too. He's a young man, when he introduces himself, I have to venture, he probably sings bass.
Yes. Second down and goal. Ball at about the 8-yard line. Kecoughtan with a great opportunity here. They had a first down inside the 20 after the previous turnover, but gave it up, and they give it up again. They have it picked off again.
That's 5 turnovers in the last, minute and a half?
Charles Robinson played that ball perfectly. In fact, he looked like he was the intended receiver. Going to be coming right at you from the ground level here. Lachey McMillan just threw it right into the hands of the Crabbers, and they've got it now at their 8-yard line. So the way this is going on, we may be here into overtime.
I don't want you want the ball. I don't want you want the ball.
No, you want to. I don't care. You can have it. Oh, that's 2 golden opportunities Tommy Austin's team has squandered, both of them inside the 20-yard line. So now the Crabbers.
We got a new quarterback.
Yeah, we do. I was going to tell you I noticed that, and the handoff goes to a not-so-new Derek Fairley, who did start the ball game, but the new quarterback is Tyrod Taylor, a freshman.
Freshman. 6'1", 180, 14 years old.
Now, is he the young man that played while Roberts was hurt?
That's right. Played the first 2 games.
By the way, didn't do a bad job passing either, since during his tenure, Hampton averaged better than 124 yards per game passing. I think all 7 passes went to Nolan, though, because he has 244 yards, and that's what they've averaged. So.
Alan Weiss, number 42, 6'3", 198, senior, made the stop that time. He plays one of the defensive end positions. Actually dropped a couple-yard loss there.
Second down and about 12. Still with the football, but sacked by Jared Mayo.
Somebody's got to put a hat on Mayo. He did a good job. With that 4-3, Kecoughtan runs the 2 outside linebackers. You can see him just right there. Nobody really put a hat on him, and he was able to make the adjustment and pull down Taylor.
So now the Crabbers looking at 3rd and about 15, almost 16 yards. As we have hit the 7.5-minute mark remaining in the first half. Both teams still unable to score. Taylor back to pass, has some time, throws downfield, has the man open, but overthrows the intended receiver on the play. That was number 84, and I don't have a number 84. So we'll assume that might be Caleb Sparkman. No, that's the punter.
That's 85.
No, that's the punter. So not sure.
I'm not sure who 84 is.
Could be 81 or 89. Let's see if we pick up at 89. But in any event, the pass goes incomplete. And so the punting team comes on, and that will be Caleb Sparkman punting.
Young man was undefeated wrestler, Tim, and had a heart murmur, and they told him you can't wrestle anymore, but you can kick the ball and you can run cross country.
Pressure just got it away. Both teams have put good pressure on the punter tonight. This one will be downed at the Hampton 46-yard line.
7 minutes left in the half.
So with 7 left in the first half, it will be Kecoughtan's turn to see what they can do. They've had the ball at the Hampton end of the field almost this entire game.
Well, especially almost the whole second quarter for sure.
Well, they had it 2 different possessions, one at the 17 after the fumble recovery, and then at the 8-yard line, or the 10-yard line rather, after Mayo's interception.
Just inside the 10, but turned it right back over.
So let's see what Tommy Austin's squad can do this time. This is Maurice Hawkins getting the call. Hawkins may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but that's about it.
Well, I tell you, I love that young man, Trevor Broughton. He was right in there. Trevor playing one of the defensive tackles.
Watch your replay
Great
here.
job.
That just never had a chance as the Hampton defense penetrated and just broke up all the running lanes.
Well, there was no place for him to go, and he when he decided to go one way or the other, it was nothing but red and white in his face.
2nd down and 10. No gain on the play. Now we've got a premature movement on the offensive line. That'll cost the Warriors 5. To remind you again, now our next game for coverage will be these same Hampton Crabbers against the Phoebus Phantoms. That's not a bad game on the 17th of October.
Dead ball. False start. On the offense. 5 yards. Still 2nd down.
Happy birthday, Charlie.
Most of the time, that game, Hampton Phoebus, determines who will be the ultimate Peninsula District champion in the last few years. And I would imagine that's going to be a good shot at that happening again this year.
Well, see, instead of being 3, 4, 5 would have been the 6th game of the season, it'll then be in the 4th game of the season. No, 5th game of the season.
Yep. McMillan rolling, looking, throws too tall for his intended receiver, Calvin Irving. So that will make it 3rd down and 15.
It looked like Kecoughtan has just abandoned the run.
And they shouldn't. They're 0 for 8 passing with 2 INTs. So unfortunately for Mr. McMillan, he has completed 2 passes, but not to a teammate. So they were running the ball fairly effectively, and I kind of like that thought of going back to the run. But that's why I'm up here and Tommy Austin's down there. He's a much better coach than I am.
Look at the got 3 receivers on this side of the field.
And it is completed. It will be out of bounds at the 46-yard line, bring up a 4th down and 10. All he did was really get back to 5 yards. And that, we've talked about it before, and I won't beat the horse to death as we watch the replay. But those illegal procedures just kill you because instead of 3rd and long to begin with, it is 3rd and much longer, and it's just almost impossible. When your passing game is erratic at this point as it is tonight, it just makes your whole opportunities diminish very rapidly.
And Tim, this looks like a first game of the season. Yep. They have not really practiced only a couple of days, and they had to get back in shape again.
We had a shot of our camera from our camera. This punt into the wind is held up and takes a sideways bounce and will be downed at about the 27 or 28-yard line where Hampton will have it again.
That's about a 2-club win.
Yeah,
I played golf today, and the wind was blowing, and instead of using one, I'd used 2 more clubs if you hit it into the wind.
And there we are. Hi, Mom.
Hey, good to see you out there, fellas. Come and see us.
Again, game time for the balance of the season on the Friday and Saturday evening games will be 7 p.m. So make a note of that. You don't want to miss the first quarter.
The only change to that is the Bethel-Menchville game, Wednesday, October 11th, will be at 4 p.m. right here on this field.
First down for Hampton. And Schuler into the open. Bounces off a tackler and is down at about the 39-yard line, but that'll be about a gain of about 11 yards. So that'll be enough to move the chains.
Going over that right side again.
Yeah, watch the replay. Good blocking there. Had a lot of running room for Schuler. And he made the most of it as he picks up 11 yards and a first down. 5:26 remaining in a scoreless first half.
Lining up on
Out of the I formation. Roberts is the quarterback once again for the Hampton Crabbers, and he gives to Schuler again, and Schuler will try the right side for about 3 yards.
Well, Tim, number 72, where is it? Number 72 for the Crabbers, Philip Benson, is in there in place of the young man that went off, Dominic White. He's playing that right guard now.
So gain of a long 2. Let's call it second down. And what is our director going to put up? Second down and about 8. And the Warriors will call their second timeout of the first half.
Dan Thompson, the defensive coordinator for the Warriors, is something he doesn't like out there, but they've got him second and long. But this little wrinkle that he sees that probably somebody up in the booth said, okay, this is what's happening on a blocking scheme. We need to make a little tweak, a little adjustment here.
Speaking of a little wrinkle, Bob Killen is up here with Mike Hauser.
Yeah,
a pair of little
that's
wrinkles.
A wrinkle. If that doesn't wrinkle, you're nothing well.
Doing stats for us. Have we talked about our crew tonight?
No, I haven't talked about a crew.
We talked when we were off camera, but we might as well give them some credit.
Yeah, let's talk about them. We got on the camera, we got Steve Fryer. He's on a little boom camera down there. Got Ron ESPN Baton and Mike Nowinski on the sideline cameras. Got Susan Bowers and Nathaniel Braxton up on the top. In the truck, we got Andy Foley doing graphics, Don Rouse doing it, everything else that needs to be done. Andre Madeley doing the instant replay, and Scotty keeping everybody in tune. He's a big guy, the director.
I like the new graphics and everything. That's really cool stuff.
Oh, Andy is...
Andy and Don Rouse have just done a great job with that. Schuler gets the call. He is across the 45 to about the 46, almost the 47.
Oh, got Keisha. Well, I didn't have Keisha's name. I'm sorry.
Keisha.
I know. Keisha who?
Keisha who. That's right. That's her name. Keisha who. Boo is her brother.
Well, I know she can whip Mike Nowinski.
Is that right?
Yeah, I saw her take him on.
Uh-oh. I'm sure Mike appreciates you letting the world know that.
They're going over there.
Third down and a long 2. Schuler has the first down as he crosses midfield into Kecoughtan territory. They're going about right the 47-yard line.
They're going right off a tackle, Tim, and I don't know what is the blocking scheme, but they're doing something nice over there, and Schuler loves it.
Watch this replay.
Not making contact. Nobody making contact until he's
but he got some
the first
good blocks.
yard.
If I could pick up the number off of that young man, I mean, he just moved his defender away and opened up a hole I could have run through.
You could have?
Oh,
how far
even
can you run?
Could have.
How far can you run?
Enough for the first down, about 3 yards. 47-yard line. First down for the Crabbers. Man in motion coming to the near side, Ernest Harvey. Handoff goes to Schuler, and Schuler behind the blocking wedge picks up some short yardage, maybe 3, almost 4.
I tell you, he did. He put his head down and just went number 62. As one of the blockers out in front of him, that's
there you see him,
Timothy Richardson.
Yeah, pulling from the guard position to block.
Put his head, give him about 3 or 4 on that.
Mark him at the 43-yard line, so that is a gain of 4.
Hampton seems to be controlling the line of scrimmage when they run the ball.
Mike Smith in the middle of your picture as he is pacing the sideline. Back to the live action. And going to be short of the first down as Schuler carries. It'll bring up a third down and about a yard. Here's your replay.
88, Nathan Robinson, and I think it's 78, Justin Tice with it in on the tackle that time, but he picked up another, maybe 5?
Well, it picked up 4, so you got about 5. Yep, it's third down and a yard. They need to get across the 37-yard line. They're at the 38.
Well, you know, that one play is working right well.
Yeah.
Why would you change it, huh?
Time becoming a factor as we are approaching the 2.5-minute mark remaining in the half. And a fake this time, and the pass is incomplete. And I know why they do that, so the other team can't key on you, but you know, you need 1 yard. I don't know if I might have just, and again, I'm not second-guessing the coaching staff.
They're going to go for it.
I'm just saying, 1 yard to go. I might have, because the ball has been so erratically thrown by both squads tonight. I'm going to check with Bob and see how many incomplete passes both teams have collectively. in the game. I know a minute ago we had 0 for 8 for Kecoughtan.
Well,
1 for 6.
Wide open. So he was wide open. He just was not. It wasn't on the mark. And Schuler was wide open on the pass play.
1 for 6 and 0 for 9. So that's 1 for 15.
Well, no, they've completed some to the other team.
4th down and a yard. On the quarterback keeper.
Oh, there you go.
And he's got
pick
the first down.
Picked up, about 3 yards on it. And Mike had enough faith in that offensive line that he's going to pick up the 1 yard. And I understand why he did that. You catch him thinking up the middle.
No question. I understood the whole thought behind it. But, you know, with the play being so erratic so far, I'm more conservative. That's all.
But also I'm sure that the coaches are thinking if we can get a completion, you know, maybe that'll give him a little bit of confidence too.
Absolutely. Arguments made on both sides of that. A total of 8 first downs in the ball game by both squads. 6 for Hampton and 2 for the Warriors. That'll show you the frustration that's been going on. Roberts has some time. Throws into coverage.
Oh.
Incidental contact. Good no call by the officials. So often the officials want to blame somebody and they throw a flag, but that is a perfect example of a no call. Both players just got their legs tangled up.
Well, Mitch would say there's no such thing as a no call. There was no penalty.
I don't know if we'll actually see it after the fact, because the two players just got tangled up and ball went well over their heads anyway. And again, the passing has just been really ragged for both squads tonight.
Well, I tell you, that cheerleading squad down there looks like they got as many players on that cheerleaders as they got on the football team.
2nd and 10. Roberts again wants to pass. Mayo gets to him, but too late. And again, contact. And that time there was, their feet just got tangled up, but it was uncatchable in any event. And a flag down on the play. I didn't notice it at the time, but they're going to we're told the initial indication is a holding call against Hampton, but we'll wait and let referee Davidson make sure for us.
Well, he's talking to Mayo.
Yep. See if we can detect a hold. Mayo.
Right there.
It's kind of hard, but let's see what referee Davidson tells us.
Holding on the offense. 10 yards to the spot of the foul. Repeat, 2nd down.
So the spot foul makes it a longer penalty than a line of scrimmage foul, and for that reason, probably
24.
Tommy Austin takes
25 yards.
It's a 15-yard penalty because it was from the spot of the foul. So they repeat the down, but really make the length of that first down now 25 yards to go. 2nd and 25. Roberts has plenty of time. Now he doesn't, and he'll be sacked. Had some time for a moment, and then a good rush from number 51, Mike Gaddis, to sack him and add additional yardage to the first down. As you watch the replay, you see the scoreboard there, still scoreless. And he had some time here, but couldn't find anybody open, and then Gaddis found him for the sack. 3rd down and 27 to go for the Hampton Crabbers. Neither team has looked sharp, if I can be so obvious. And again, a long layoff, no practice time. These guys are really just kind of starting all over again.
Well, they really are. Your timing is something that you work on practice after practice after practice, and now we got the 3rd one.
Yep, 3rd delay of the game against the Hampton Crabbers. So Mike Smith and his coaching staff will undoubtedly have some things to say at halftime. If I'm Tommy Austin, I'm going to be saying is, look, we've
foul, delay of game on the offense. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Tommy Austin really can't be too upset other than the turnovers. They've played very well on defense.
Well, I mean, we've had 5 turnovers. Is that?
I'm not sure what the total of turnovers is. How many total turnovers do we have, guys? Freaking Frack over here looked at me like, what's a turnover? Is that an apple turnover or is that a
cherry turnover?
5.
I thought it was
5 each or 5 collectively? 5 total. Well, then 2 for Hampton and 3 for Kickoghtan. 2 for the Hampton Crabbers, 3 for Kickoghtan. I thought it was more than that, but I'm sure they're right. into coverage. And now that could have been offensive interference because the Crabber downfield kind of pushed off at the very end. But again, the pass was not catchable. And the Warriors receiver on that play, Kelvin Irving, is down. He was limping for a moment.
Well, that's the defender on that play.
Yep. I said receiver. I meant defender.
Yeah, and he plays the
well, now, see, he's running here as you let that run.
Cornerback. He plays
and all of a
one
sudden,
of the, yeah.
Excuse me. Let me. We stopped it, but he's still moving, and all of a sudden, he got it cramped up, and he's still down.
And again, that could be conditioning.
Yeah. A cool, dry night.
Oh, can you imagine what this would be like if it was a hot, muggy evening? Ooh.
Not nearly as much fun.
Well, we'd have had, number one, we'd have had our shorts on.
Hampton has 105 yards total.
Hampton now, some stats for you. Hampton 105 yards on the ground in the first half. Just 8 yards passing on that one completed pass.
Was that from Frick or Frack?
That was from
Frack. The playoff score that we just got from ESPN, WGH 1310. In the 11th inning, the San Francisco Giants are up by a score of 3-2.
You could see there's Mike. You see in the previous shot.
Lewinsky.
Previous shot, a couple of the Kecoughtan Warrior cheerleaders, and it's a little chilly out here tonight.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
He wants to make sure what his name is.
Well, I'm happy to tell you that Kelvin Irving.
Number 7, Maurice Hawkins got looks like a little ice on his foot.
But Irving, got me confused here, is still limping off the field. Hopefully that is just a cramp because he was running. He didn't go down from contact.
Look at him. You can tell that, yeah.
He didn't fall down or go down to the ground from contact, but after he was turning around to come back to the huddle, he cramped up, I believe. So if that's what it is, that's a whole lot better news than
really
something else.
Well, the one we saw, the young man, Hawkins, he's a strong safety.
All right, so the Crabbers Sparkman is back in deep punt formation for Hampton. On 4th down and a ton. Gets the kick away. And it takes a Hampton roll to about the 23-yard line, where with just 43 seconds remaining, Hampton with 2 timeouts still on the board will have a little opportunity.
We're a little off sync tonight. I keep stepping over on you, or you're talking and I'm stepping on you. You know, that 2 weeks off hurt us a little bit. 33 yards on the punt. That's from Frack.
I could go with some Beantown coffee and we'd be back in the six. I'm just a little bit slow.
You need a little caffeine.
I need a little caffeine kick.
Well, maybe if we get the word to David Allen, he'd bring it over by himself. I know he would.
All right, now the Warriors.
Going to take out this their 3rd timeout?
It is their 3rd timeout.
Okay, I knew they'd. Both of them had already picked up 2, I think, hadn't they?
Yep, and they didn't do that to stop the clock because the clock had not restarted after the change of possession. So apparently there was some confusion on offense, and they wanted to make sure they got it right.
I want to make the fans aware of our next telecast is going to be here Friday, October the 17th. Phoebus will meet these Crabbers. Crabbers being the home team.
It always is.
They'll be the home team on that night. So, plan to come on out here, and if you can, make Saturday, October 11th, we got Bethel and Menchville, Denby and Phoebus, one's at 4 and one's at 7, and then on Wednesday, October 8th, we got one at 4 and one at 7, Oregon, Bethel, and Menchville and Phoebus. So some ball games won't be able to do, but you can sure come out and see some good entertainment.
All right, we're back in action now. The pitch to Byron Tillery, and Tillery is pushed out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. That'll be short of a first down, apparently, waiting for the official mark.
Watch this. He really got some good blocking right there at the point of contact.
Got an excellent block on the line there to seal the end.
Well, yeah, and that was probably the player that was responsible for containment. And somebody did put a good block on him.
2nd and a yard after a 9-yard gain by Tillery. 36 seconds. Clock did stop with the out-of-bounds play. Kecoughtan has used all of their timeouts. Tillery in motion. This is Mayo. And Mayo, staying on the ground, is out to the 35-yard line. So they will have time for one more play, at least.
Well, they
And it
got
is
the
a
first down. Yeah, that's the main thing they wanted to do is get that first down.
You saw in that shot of the stadium, you can see the flag. The flag is actually blowing across the field. The wind, if you go back up to the shot that you started with, Scotty, that you would see that the Old Glory is blowing pretty briskly from really as you're playing on the field from right to left. There you see it kind of whipping around in the moon in the background. Nice
Yeah,
shot,
that's a good shot, isn't it?
So a first down at the 35. Clock is restarted. It's down to 6 seconds, 5 seconds. This should be the final play of the first half. The fake. McMillan had a face mask, looked like a face mask.
I think you just got him on a collar.
May have. And McMillan will just be forced out of bounds at the 40-yard line with the final play. I look around to see if there are any penalty flags. There are none. And that will signal the end of the first half. So we've battled for 24 minutes. The fans here on a cool, crisp night at Darling Stadium have watched both squads struggle on offense. We've played one half. Our score at halftime is Hampton 0 and Kecoughtan 0. We'll return to Darling Stadium for the third quarter of action after this brief timeout. And we're back here at halftime. It won't take but a moment for us to recap the scoring for you because there hasn't been any scoring.
No scoring?
No scoring. Both teams moved the ball early in the contest, but the Hampton Crabbers bogged down on their first possession, and turnovers by the Warriors. They had great opportunities. They had a 1st and 10 on the Hampton 17 or 18-yard line. And they also had a 1st and 10 on the 9.5-yard line. And they were unable to capitalize on it. Here are your halftime statistics. Our WHCS halftime report.
Brought to you by football.
By football. There you see the first downs. Hampton with 6, Kecoughtan 3. Hampton does have 105 yards rushing, 72 yards on the ground for the Warriors. Passing just 8 yards for Hampton, and only 5 yards for Kecoughtan on 1 of 9 with 2 picks, 1 of 8 with 1 pick for the Crabbers. Punt returns, the Crabbers with none, 1 for 17 for Kecoughtan. And there you see the rest of the statistics. Sacks, 3 for 11, 1 for 11 for the Warriors. Fumbles, Hampton fumbled twice and lost 1, as did the Warriors. Penalties, 4 for 31 for Hampton, 1 for 5 against Kecoughtan. And the time possession very strongly in favor of the Hampton Crabbers, 16-7.
Yeah, that's quite a difference in time possession. But what we got a lot of music going on. I don't know if Scotty can hear it or not. The music is great. I'm looking for Rocky to come running up the stands here and Whatever.
We're fading the music out. See, now they're going to just gently fade the music out and fade in the picture of the pretty lady on the screen.
Well, I'm glad that, they're much prettier than you and I on the screen. But anyway, we got the second half getting ready to go. Kecoughtan will receive. Tim, we will pick a player of the game from each one of these teams tonight. Those players will receive a trophy and a shirt. The trophy comes from Trophy World. They're located in the Hilton Village in Newport News. For all your recognition and award needs, trophies, plaques, and custom engraving, contact Bob Hilling at Trophy World, 595-7354. Mention this announcement, you'll get special pricing. The shirt comes from Tidewater Team Sports, your one-stop sports headquarters for screen printing, embroidery, and uniforms and apparel. Call 594-0411. Talk to David Chubb or Terry McNamara. That's T-Mac.
All right, we are set to go. We want to, by the way, I want to say that I hope everyone fared well through Isabel and no one suffered any serious injuries or losses. Unfortunately, that was a terrible time. And, well, I tell you what, it was very impactful, wasn't it?
I tell you, it was not only that, but the people coming out of the woodwork just helping you, neighbors helping neighbors, and it was just wonderful to see that. I hate to see things like that happen, but that does happen. And
that was the point I wanted to make, is I got to know my neighbors, and by golly, I got some nice neighbors. They worked out very well. And
they thought enough of you, huh?
I'm telling you, hooked me a generator up, and we had some outdoor parties, and it was making the best of a bad situation. Sounds like some lyrics from a song. The Warriors have it, and they still have some running room. He's still going. Can he do it? But the Crabbers have an angle on him. He cuts it back. He won't get in the end zone, but the Warriors will have it inside the 20-yard line.
Wow, closer to 15. The second half is brought to you in part by Parkland Wood Funeral Home. They're conveniently located at the Hampton Center Parkway. Nancy Staten is the manager. Phone number is 827-4670. Watch the replay.
Dakota Mathis.
And it's not that he didn't get hit a couple times, but he just didn't go down. One, two, three, and we just run out of a tackler there.
Once he got into the
outside,
open.
yeah.
But they had the angle on him. So the Warriors, as we will resume to the live action here, this is Mayo. And Mayo from the 15-yard line gets to about the 11, almost right around 11.5 yard line. Second down for the Warriors.
There were no fewer than 9 Crabbers around that ball carrier that time.
So Dakota Mathis with an 80-yard return of the opening kickoff to the second half.
That was an interesting shot.
Got a little dizzy on that one.
Oh, I'm glad I wasn't the only one.
Tillery and Byron Tillery, who goes both ways for the Warriors, is stacked up at about the 10-yard line. Let's see if they give him forward progress to the 10. That's just about where they're going to mark it. So it brings up a third down and about 5 from the ground level.
Chester Bassett was one of the tacklers. A whole host of, as you can see, Crabbers in to stop that time.
So a big third down, and they're into the wind now. If they do in fact decide they want to go for a field goal if they don't get the first down, but let's get this play first. This is McMillan on the option, and he will not.
Ball. No, he got it.
Everybody's yelling ball, but the ball was still in McMillan's hand.
It was in his hand, but it was just kind of hanging out there.
So now, if you're the Warriors, you're going to try the field goal.
Absolutely.
So McMillan did not get back to the line of scrimmage on that play. So the kicking team comes on, and the kicker is Lucas Spencer, a junior. So he will try it from the 20, and adding the 10 in the end zone, it's a 30-yard attempt. He is a left-footed kicker. Into the wind. And a bad snap.
No.
Oh, yes, it was a bad snap. That thing dribbled right to him. And that's going to make the attempt at the field goal a non-issue, as they never got a chance to try it.
You know, and I know the holder was ready, and the ball, you're right, it hit and skipped and went right through his hands. Watch the replay. It just took a bounce right over his hands.
Looked like he had a little backspin on a 9-iron shot there, and it just went right by the holder's hand.
It's kind of chilly.
Yeah.
You want me to shut this window?
No, I'm fine.
I can shut it.
You're sitting in front of it. Close it if you may. There are times when it's nice to have a breeze in here, and then there's tonight.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, so the Crabbers take over. Ball carrier for Hampton is number 5, Derek Fairley, who's done fairly well so far running tonight. But neither team has been able to really sustain an offense, and the turnovers have hurt. There have been a total of 5. Each team has fumbled the ball twice, having lost one. And then the Warriors were picked off twice as Hampton was picked off once. Here's from your ground level shot. Not much happening there as it is 3rd down and about 8 for the Crabbers. 9 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. If you've just joined us, you're watching a scoreless contest between Hampton and Kecoughtan. This game videotaped on the 3rd of October, 2003. Tim Cole and Bob Hintz coming to you from Darling Stadium as Fairley. The ball came loose, I believe. Crabbers say they've got it.
They do.
But it'll be 3rd and long after Fairley is stopped after a short gain.
Well, Tim, Hampton's got to be happy. Number 66, Dominic White, back in, pulled, set the block, and then ended up recovering the fumble.
Crabbers still unpiling. I'm assuming everyone is all right, and they are, but Kecoughtan unable to recover the fumble, so Hampton will look at 3rd down and about 6.
Well, this young man was, I thought they were going to take him off on a stretcher, and he's back in the second half. He's looking good, pulled from his left guard position, his right guard position, sent a block, and then ended up recovering the fumble.
Crabbers still not quite set. They'll go from the gun. Roberts, in his first game of the season after suffering the broken leg, sends Schuler in motion to the right. Roberts with the shovel pass to Fairley, and Fairley will get close to the 1st down. Depending on the mark, it looks like he'll be about a foot or 2 short.
Mike, I think that's Mike Gaddis. Yeah, Gaddis and Mayo, the 2 outside linebackers, combined to make the stop that time.
This is the replay. This was a shovel pass. It was not a handoff or a lateral, but a forward pass. And they're going to be about a yard short, actually.
Well, does it look like he's going to measure, I believe, isn't he?
Oh, give me a break.
Listen, the guy's birthday, Tim. He doesn't wait. There's the big Don Sherrouse down there.
All right, I'm going to go out. I'm going to tell you right now, it's 2 feet short.
2 feet. Let me check it out. That's 1 foot.
All right, it's 1 feet short.
No, 1 foot.
All right.
1 feet?
1 feet.
You have 1 feet, 2 feet.
I have 2 feet, but that ball was 1 foot short.
Well, if you're Hampton, Tim, you try to pull them off. You go for the you punt it, or this end the end of the field. You don't want to turn the ball over to them,
but they do have the wind at their back if they decide to punt it. It is 4th down, and they do appear to be going for it.
Well, I look for them just to go straight ahead.
Or do they go with a hard
count? They got about 8 men on that line of scrimmage,
and they go with it. And it looks like Roberts has enough for the 1st down.
Yeah,
as
all
they'll
he
mark
needed
him.
was 1 what?
1 feet.
1 feet. Okay.
They got him almost to the 30-yard line.
That was a gutsy call.
Mike Smith and his group are known for gutsy calls.
Yeah, Zoom's given an award to the senior football player on each one of the Hampton teams this year who's demonstrated academic excellence. These players will be awarded plaques at a school board meeting after the season. We'd like to thank David Allen and Zooms for their continued support for WHCS and our student athletes.
So they do get a 1st down by about a foot. So they needed 1 foot, and they got 2 feet.
That other foot that they
they needed that 2nd feet. Roberts on the draw. Nice delayed handoff. And Fairley is in Kecoughtan territory at the 47-yard line.
And that was Tyree Barnes, number 14, that finally made the stop. Tyree's your free safety, Tim. You don't want your free safety making many tackles. But look
No,
at
that little draw play worked. It's not even a full-fledged draw play. It was like a mini draw play, just a little
almost
delay.
a delay, yeah.
But
Nice
it worked
call.
very effectively as Fairley gained yardage. Check and see how many yards Fairley's got on the game. 11 for 93. Mike Hauser on the spot with the stat. Thank you very
That's
much.
for you people who keep
That's
score.
right. Frick over here hasn't said much tonight.
Yeah, he has. Who was that number?
Little jersey, big jersey. Quick hitter. And Hampton now starting to gain some yardage on the ground. And another Crabber slow to get up.
That's the same young man.
Yeah, that's Dominic White again.
I tell you, he's playing hurt, but he's in there. I see 72 going to come up and give him a break.
Teammates trying to get him off the field. A couple of them said, come on. And he said, nope. That's the kind of spirit you look for when you're a coach.
Yeah, he's going off.
Yeah, they're going to take him out now. Schuler on the night, 10 carries for 55 yards so far. So he's got a nice 5.5 yards per carry average. So White does, in fact, finally limp off the field. Second down and about 4. This is Fairley, and Fairley will just get back to the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard as they'll mark the ball close to the 40-yard line. So they'll be third down and 3 as they need to cross the 37-yard line to pick up the first.
Joshua McCalla, one of the tackles, number 57, got a hold of him and would not let go. Here we go. You got to like White.
I'm telling you, it's hard to keep out of there.
He said, listen, I come over, I've missed a whole lot of football here. I want to get all I can in tonight. He's going to get all of it in.
No, he's on the sideline. 66 is not in the game.
I thought I saw him coming in. He just came in.
66 is on the far sideline.
He should have 65
at the 48-yard line.
You're right.
So a timeout called. And the Crabbers burn the timeout with the ball squarely at the 40-yard line.
I think that was John Tay Brown, number 65, is coming out. I just glanced and looked like 6'6" coming in.
Yeah, no, he's still on the sideline,
Yeah.
66 is. Again, we want to remind you that we have a revised schedule because of the hurricane and all the ramifications of no school for almost 2 weeks. Just to remind you, our next contest for coverage purposes will be right here on the 17th as these Hampton Crabbers will take on the Phoebus Phantoms, which is always a head knocker. And then we'll be here on the 24th for the game between Kecoughtan and Bethel. That's always a good game. We'll be back here on the 7th of November for Phoebus and Bethel. And then the regular season will be finishing with Hampton and Bethel on the 14th of November. The abbreviated schedule, but there are some other games. You want to mention some of those?
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking we get Bethel the last 3 games.
Right.
And it's not because that's what we wanted to do. The game that we should have been doing as Bethel and Hampton was moved to the end of the season.
So we will have that game for you on the 14th of November. Quick hitter, Schuler has the first down as he gets to the 36-yard line. Needed to cross the 37. And so that'll move the chains. I think Charlie will move the chains. He's been wanting to look at these more closely. I guess as you get older, your eyesight isn't quite as sharp as it was before.
When you get 29, huh?
9 first downs for the Crabbers, all on the ground. As they mark it at the 36-yard line, Charlie says, I got it from here. I'm the man in control. It's a first down.
It's a first down, and don't you doubt it.
We're just giving you a hard time now, Charlie, just playing with you. Handoff to Schuler, and Schuler gets about 3 down to the 32-yard line. So the Crabbers now, realizing that their passing game has been erratic at best, have decided, you know what, if we can pick up 3 to 4 yards every time, that's not a bad idea.
Well, that's the old Woody Hayes, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but there's no dust out there. And they're doing a little bit better than 3 yards average. I don't know what their average is, but it's got to be.
9 plays, 5 minutes and 20 seconds. That's what the Crabbers have chewed up here on this drive. They give it to Fairley. Fairley tries to get some yardage on the right side, and the Kecoughtan defense smelled that play out beautifully.
They sure did.
They were not fooled for a moment. There were several players in on the stop, but not the least of which was Mike Gaddis, number 51.
Tillery and McCullough both were in there also.
Yeah, that was just stuffed from the beginning. So it's 3rd down and 8. With 3:25 remaining in a rapidly moving third quarter. Crabbers have kept it on the ground during this drive, but have a big 3rd down and 8 facing them here at the Warrior 33-yard line. Roberts will fake and wants to throw. Got a man wide open and can't hold on to it. That ball was thrown right in the hands of the receiver, but he just couldn't hold on. It kind of looked downfield just a half a glance, and that might have been just enough to take his concentration off of catching the ball. And you know what? You see that at every level of football.
Yes, you do.
Watch this. Roberts with a nice play action. Threw that one right on the hands of the intended receiver, Fairley, but couldn't come up with it. So now Mike Smith has to look at 3rd and long.
No,
that should be 4th and long.
Yeah. And I noticed that Dominic White is back in there. He was blocking on that play.
And now the Crabbers, because of the importance of this play, will take a timeout. And they will use the second of their 3. So they'll just have 1 remaining. And we still have 3:04 left in the third quarter. But this is and I think this is accurately so, a real crucial down here.
Oh, I think so. Hampton Chevrolet Jeep Mazda, located 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. They got your new and used cars, your pickups. Give them a call, 838-5450. One of our corporate sponsors. We do appreciate them.
When you were,
Alonzo Cherry.
Yeah, Alonzo Cherry there, my old buddy from the Daily Press. When you were without power during the hurricane, where did you get your ice? Because I
got 1 bag of ice the whole time, and then neighbor brought it by.
I've seen. Well, I just wondered because we in Newport News we had
Harris Teeter.
Harris Teeter.
Jeez,
Harris Teeter was our savior, and they're not a sponsor. They don't pay anything. They don't have anything coming. But I just wanted to say
thank you.
Talk about a neighborhood effort. I mean, they brought in tons of ice and water.
They just gave it away.
And Saturday night after the Thursday hurricane, we were in pretty bad straits. All of our stuff was gone. And they had a big tractor trailer for just one after another come into the Newport News store. So I'm a Harris Teeter fan from here on out, folks.
Well, I would understand that.
Oh, just off the fingertips. A good job on defense to break that up. Number 31 for the Warriors, Chad Hooker, just got a finger on it. Otherwise, we might have had our first score of the ball game. Watch this replay. This was really just a fingertip to deflect the ball, and the ball goes over to the Warriors on down. Otherwise, we might have been looking at a touchdown.
And Hampton had the ball how long that series?
6 minutes and 38 seconds.
6 minutes and 38 seconds. As you hear that echo, that was Mike Hauser.
That was Frank. And
you're not going to let that go, are you?
Well, I haven't heard much about Frick.
Well, he's over here concentrating.
Is it concentrating? I wonder what that look was for.
Fumble on the snap. McMillan got it back. Never really had it from the exchange from center. And both teams, again, continue to struggle on offense. Hampton has had by far the better opportunities as far as moving the ball. Kecoughtan has had the best scoring opportunities.
They really have.
They've had it after a turnover on the Hampton 18 and on the Hampton 9-yard line, as you watch that replay of the mishandle snap from center. So that's the third fumble in the game for Kecoughtan. They've lost one of those 3. McMillan gives to Mayo, and Mayo is out to about the 39-yard line, so he picks up about 5. And it brings up 3rd and 5. But you just can't get much of a drive going when you're always in 3rd and long.
It really hurts. Chester.
And your passing game isn't working very well.
Chester Bassett, number 75, 6'2", 275, helped make that stop that time.
So a crucial 3rd down.
He plays one of the offensive guards. Defensive guards,
the best opportunities tonight, as you watch the replay by the run by Mayo, have been in Kecoughtan's court. They've had a 1st and goal inside the 10. And they had an opportunity to kick a field goal, a 30-yard field goal, no chip shot, but bad snap from center negated that opportunity. And now the pass play in the flat goes for a loss as the Hampton defense smell that play out. So both defenses have played very well.
Charles Robinson, number 15, would not let go of the foot.
Now, he had that interception earlier that thwarted the Kecoughtan opportunity already in this half. Watch this, and he just never had a chance to get going as the Crabbers had that one read perfectly. And now we've got a flag down, and they may have too many players on the field, Hampton will. That will not be enough for a first down because it's 4th down and 6.
Yeah, there's 12 players on the field.
Yeah. And that will be a penalty.
Captain.
They've had it all night. That's the first time they caught it.
And we have a good ball substitution infraction.
No, it's going to be 4th and about 1 minute.
Is it only a 5-yard penalty?
It'll be 4th and 1.
Be 4th down and about a yard if they accept it, and obviously they will. Now, if you're Tommy Austin, do you gamble here?
Well, now you've got a decision to make.
Yeah.
Hampton did it. They were right inside the 30.
They might take a timeout to discuss this. And it looks like Kecoughtan will, in fact, use one of their timeouts. So a lot of chess playing going on here, a lot of strategizing from both squads. A little should be gambled. Do you want to maybe try the hard count now? Because a hard count will give you a first down if you can get someone to move.
I like that strategy. I like that.
Now, if you're the Hampton coaches, I won't presume to have any idea what they're saying, but if I was over there, I would probably be saying, watch the hard count. If they do, in fact, line up as if they're going to go for it, make sure you stay put until the ball is snapped.
And number 1 is that. Number 2 is to watch for a quick count before you get set. But they try to catch you before you're in the set position, because all they need is a yard. Quick quarterback sneak, you got it. So you've got to plug up the middle, and you've got to go when that ball moves. Keep low and drive that man in front of you back. So I don't care if you're offense or defense, you got to get low.
So that penalty does change the plans, and they do not come out in punt formation. 4th and a yard at their 43. They're going to go for it, and they'll get it with Mayo. He got it as he crossed the 44-yard line, which is what he had to do. That's right. A little tomato and some bacon, and you got, what do you got? A BLT with mayo.
So only Scotty would think of something to eat at a time like this.
I already thought
you've been thinking of it all night, I know. But you've got an excuse. You spent 40, 90 minutes on the road getting here.
That's right. So they put it where it should have been the first time. And it is right on the 45-yard line. So the penalty for too many men on the field hurts the Crabbers, at least for the time being, as they, instead of getting the ball, are still playing defense. Mayo picked up maybe a yard and a half.
Oh, big number 62, Timothy Richardson, 6 foot 230 sophomore. Allowed only 1 yard that time by Mayo. That was a little cross buck, almost a misdirection handoff that time.
Picked up 2. 2nd down and 8 as the clock winds down here. We're inside a half a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Still no score. Might be able to hear one of the coaches up here yelling pass, pass, pass. That actually is an option play.
I like that number 73, Trevor Broughton. He hits you and then he grabs. You ain't getting away from me.
Nope. And that is going to be the final play of the 3rd period. Here's the replay.
Watch number 73. Right here, boom. He took on the blocker and made the tackle too. Great job. I like that guy.
There you go. There's Mike. You say he's got Mike on his shirt. That's so he won't forget who he is, right?
Right.
But he calls himself Ekum.
He calls himself what?
Ekum.
Ekum?
Well, listen, in the mirror it says E-K-I-M.
Oh, so that's why he stutters a lot.
Yeah, he goes Ekum. maybe it says Nike instead of Mikey.
Oh, Mikey Nike.
Mikey Nike.
He's one of the swoosh guys.
You guys like my option plate.
Oh. Here come the girls.
We're watching the Kickoff cheerleaders on TV 46.
So we got the cheerleaders on there. I hope they heard what they were cheering because I couldn't hear it. I was deaf.
I'm dizzy after watching that.
I'm deaf. You're dizzy. We're in real good shape. All right, here we go. 3rd down and 6 for the Warriors. They need to get to the Hampton 45-yard line. And there's Susie Bowers up there in the chilly evening breeze here at Darling Stadium. The pitch goes to Tillery. Byron Tillery will not get back to the line of scrimmage as the Hampton defense does the job.
Excuse me, Tim. Daniel Carroll made the stop, but somebody else shot in there that made him really lost his.
And that's a good point. So often you'll see XYZ make the tackle, but it really is a result of the ABC. A result of someone breaking up the blocking scheme
and causing
that. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. Someone shot the gap and just destroyed. See if we can pick this up.
Right there, 15, I think. Yep, it is.
Exactly right. That is our man who made the interception earlier, Charles Robinson, and he forced that play into where the coverage was. And now Kecoughtan, or I think it's Kecoughtan, called timeout.
I think it was too. Charles Robinson plays the defensive end. Nobody picked him up that time. He just went in and disrupted all the blocking scheme. You're right on that. That was a good. I'm very impressed with your astuteness tonight.
I beg your pardon. I've had this astute for a long time.
There you go.
That's our.
You've been astute for a long time.
That's our boom camera. I don't know if you can see that shot that you're looking at
and
or
that's
seeing.
Steve Fryer who was on that. And Don Chirous. Now Don's on it now. I think
Don
Steve got seasick. I don't know.
Don says, I put this toy together, I get to play with it. There you see Don. Always trying to see if we can improve the angles and the shots we bring you here on Channel 46. We have a lot of fun.
But look at this. Look at his face. He's really concentrating, kicking that foot out there, trying to get his balance.
Steering it with his feet, trying to make sure it doesn't fall off. All right, 4th down and 6 for the Warriors.
They're going to punt it.
Yeah, they can.
Or they may fake punt
it. Well, they're going to line up to punt. Let's put it like that. McMillan, of course, is a defensive safety. He's also the quarterback. He's also the punter. And he gets this one away. Got a little bit of a breeze behind him. It's caught at the 26-yard line and brought out to about the 32. So a return of about 6 yards for Brandon Smith.
Number 3, Kelvin Irving did a great job of not letting him get outside, pushed him inside, held his blocker, and did a good job of containment.
And glad to see Kelvin back in the game. As you may recall, he came up lame earlier and hopefully just suffered a cramp that he has recovered from because he appears to be none the worse for wear. So now the Crabbers will have it back again, and we're still scoreless as we have entered the 4th quarter. Neither team has been able to get on the board. Kecoughtan's had the best opportunities but have come up with nothing after being inside the 20-yard line 3 different times.
And Hampton's moved the ball real well between the 30s.
Yep. And they continue to as Fairley gets the call. Ball came loose, and I believe they'll say the ball was down, and they do.
And guess who the young man that ended up on the ball again? 66.
66.
Dominic White.
Still limping. Not quite as badly as he was earlier. There you see him in the right-hand side of your picture. With his hands on his hips. Now he's more toward the center. Good-sized young man, number 66. Dominic White, 5'10", 265.
Him and Trevor Broughton play that right side of guard and tackle. And those 2 young men have been very busy tonight.
2nd down and about 4 for Hampton. Roberts under center. Gives to Fairley, and Fairley is stopped dead at the line of scrimmage.
And that's
Jared
Gaddis.
Mayo is one of them.
That was Gaddis, 51, Tim.
Yep. I tell you, we got a lot of good candidates for player of the game tonight, and we will be picking a player of the game from each of these teams. As you look at the Kecoughtan sideline looking on. Kecoughtan 1-1 on the season. Hampton 2-0. both of them in Division 5, so Kecoughtan can ill afford to lose this game, and they've played very hard, and Tommy Austin's squad has played tough against this Hampton squad. Hampton's played well in spots, but the defenses have really been dominant for both squads. And as you watch the replay of that last offensive surge, 3rd down and about 3. On the delayed handoff to Schuler. Schuler's got the first down as he just crosses the 43-yard line, and that'll be enough to move the chains again. So Schuler getting the call. Schuler and Fairley have been very effective tonight, but neither of them have been able to really break the big run tonight. And give credit to the Kecoughtan Warrior defense for not giving up the big play.
Well, they're bending, but they're not breaking.
73 yards on the night for Andre Schuler, 92 yards for Fairley. And there's Mr. Braxton up there kind of hiding out of the breeze because it's a little chilly tonight. I tell you, we went from summer. During the time I didn't have electricity, I could have used an air conditioner. The day I got my power back, the temperature dropped into the low 30s. I don't know what that's all about.
It means you don't need your air conditioner.
I don't need my air conditioner. I need my heater. Yeah. Yep, we didn't have air for the 11 days that followed the hurricane. And
well, I'm real lucky. I got that sunroom when I got 3 doors on one side and 2 at the end. We just opened it up and had a nice breeze in there the whole time.
Second down and short, and it'll bring up 3rd down now as the gain is to about the 49-yard line of Kecoughtan. Tell you one thing, if I don't ever see another hurricane anytime soon, it will be too soon.
Well, I tell you, Tim, I think it really dodged a bullet. It could have been so much worse because it was really just over a tropical storm, and the winds were right around 80.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine if it had come in here at 100 and 120?
No, I don't want to imagine. I'll tell you one thing. The next time we hear of a Category 2 or higher hurricane, I'll call you from Nebraska because that's where I'm going to be. That's where I'm headed. I will not be here.
You know, that's really funny. Nice run.
Schuler with a good effort gets a big first down into deep in Kecoughtan territory now at the 37-yard line.
Well, I got a call from my one of my cousins in Iowa, and they said, I told them how windy it was and everything. This was during the hurricane. They want to know how we were doing. And he said, well, how long will the wind last? I said, for hours. He says, hours?
Yeah.
Because, they used to, if you have a tornado, it just boom, and it's gone. And he just couldn't comprehend having the wind continually blowing for as long as it did.
The number of yards starting to match up now, 93 and 92 respectively for Schuler and Fairley. This is Schuler. He'll surge ahead with the personal goal for yardage here, and Hampton just grinding it out now as they have this entire second half. They have realized that they can move the ball. A lot of two-way players for Kecoughtan have got to be starting to feel a little fatigued, and you just keep pounding away, and sooner or later you hope, if you're a Hampton fan, that you can break one off and get in the end zone.
Well, Hampton been running off the right side. Now they're going off the left side of the line, and they've got some good blocking over that side. Looks like 62 and 69.
Second down and about
62
almost
and 60.
And he got a man open. Schuler has the pass completed. Another first down. He goes out of bounds at the 25-yard line, but that should be enough to move the chains. So Roberts, who's had limited success passing tonight.
Yeah, I want to talk about the guard and the tackle on the left side for the Hampton Crabbers, and that's Eli Faroux, number 60, and Timothy Richardson, number 62.
They marked the ball right at the Kecoughtan 25-yard line where it's first down. 6:43, and the clock is moving. Now they stopped the clock. And I think they stopped it.
Well, they're getting the chain
right. Yeah, they get the chain.
think.
Okay, so the chains are set. I thought he had stepped out of bounds, and maybe that's what it was. They didn't mean to start the clock. 6:42 on the clock. This is Schuler up the middle, and so the running attack is starting to pay dividends now.
It's starting to look like a scrum, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're just driving the ball. You know, your good buddy, my good buddy Brent was up here at halftime, and he was talking about the same thing. He says, you know, they're having success running the ball. I think that's what they probably should and would do in the second half, and he was right. Second down and a long 2 after a gain of almost 8. And now,
and that
timeout,
one pass that they did just complete was a real short, just a swing pass where your fullback coming out of the backfield.
But they're having difficulty just doing that. If you recall, they had that pass that fairly dropped in the third quarter.
Right.
And then they had that play in the first half with that little swing pass on 3rd and 1. They ultimately got the first down on that next play. But, you know, it just breaks your momentum sometimes when you don't keep it going, like you get into a rhythm.
You almost got it. You got to keep your defense. You got to keep your defense a little off balance. You just can't run.
Sure, no, I fully understand.
And I understand you got to throw it every now and then. And but right now, the timing and missed practices have really affected both quarterbacks' passing stats. I mean, they're horrendous for both of them, and I know both of them are much better passers than what's showing.
Schuler now 19 carries for 105 yards on the night, so he's got a 100-yard game under his belt. And it's second down and about 2 for the Crabbers. 6:15 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Schuler
Quick
again.
Hitter, yep, Schuler, and he will be close to the first down depending on the spot. Needed to cross the 15. It appears that's where they've spotted the ball. And if that is where they spotted ultimately, it should move the chains. Excuse me. And it is.
That's it.
So now, first down, 15-yard line. This is the deepest penetration of the ball game by the Hampton Crabbers. They did have a situation in the first half where they could have gone for a field goal and chose not to. This is Fairley, and Fairley will be grabbed by his like number Tillery and stopped for a loss. Byron Tillery penetrated and made the tackle.
Yeah. They've just plugged up the hole. There was no place for Fairley to go that time. You can see right there, ran into number 8, Carl Craighead, and he bounced out of his hand, but who do you run into? The middle linebacker, Tillery.
So a loss on the play of about a foot. There you see Mike Smith and the coaches and the players on the Hampton side trying to exhort the offense to get the score. The pitch. Had trouble with it a couple of times. They don't have trouble this time. Fairley will get to the corner, and he
got
scores.
The end zone. And that puts him over 100 yards.
15-yard touchdown run by Fairley. And would you imagine with 5:13 to go in the game, we'd be looking at the first score tonight. But that's the call.
Nice pitch, right? And just a nice move that right there that set it up, and then he just had the angle, got the end zone.
Derek Fairley going over 100 yards on the night with that carry. And he cracks the scoreboard for the first time tonight. Now the extra point attempt is long enough, and it is good. So the Crabbers with 5:13, there you see the scoreboard. Started to have the wrong score. They had 7-6. They had the 7 on the wrong side for just a moment there, but that is in fact the score. Hampton the visitor in tonight's contest, and you look across the field, that's the Hampton band as they yuck it up, enjoying that 7-0 lead. And their defense is going to be tested now because the Warriors, as I mentioned this, and I don't want to put so much importance on it, but they just can't afford to lose a second game with a lot of games still to go in the season.
Yeah. Well, in the Peninsula District, your Division 5, you got your 3 real powerhouses in Phoebus, Hampton, and Kecoughtan.
And Woodside up there with 2-0, they're Division 5.
So, that really makes a big difference when you're looking at the only Division 6 teams we have is Denby and Gloucester. I thought Gloucester was Division 6, but they got them listed there on the 5. So.
68 yards 6 minutes chewed up by the Hampton Crabbers, capped by the 15-yard run by Derek Fairley.
Do we have time of possession in the second half?
Oh, I don't know.
It's got to be just unbelievable in Hampton's favor.
Sure, because they almost had the ball entire third quarter. 12:38 so far, and we've played 12 and another 6, so they've doubled the time on the Kecoughtan possession in the second quarter. That one goes out of bounds, so that will come out to, I believe it's the 40-yard line. 35. Always get that confused.
Michael, keep you square.
Someone needs to. I watch too much college ball and pro ball. That's pro ball comes out to 40. You're going to kick it over.
That's one of the options. They kick it over, or they could take it on the 35.
So again, we remind you, because of the changes in the schedule, some games coming up this week, just real quickly.
Before you do that, you understand why they're kicking it short like that. Last time the kicking, the guy ran it back down to the, what about the 15?
Yep.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, I forgot what I was going to say. Well, let's see. If it's not already the 8th of October.
Never mind.
Bethel will host Warwick here at Darling at 4 o'clock on Wednesday, the 8th of October. Phoebus will host Menchville at 7 o'clock. Again, start time for the evening games, 7 p.m. for the balance of the season. And then on 17th of October, because there won't be any Saturday the 11th is Menchville hosting Bethel, and then Phoebus will host Denby at 7 o'clock that night.
I think this is switched, I think.
Okay, Bethel is hosting Menchville.
Yeah, I think you
messing me up here. Because it says last team mentioned is the home team. This is McMillan, and he gets to the 35, and that's all. Woo. See what it says here? Last team listed is the home team.
Yeah, I know that, but
you can't believe everything you read.
Right, but if you notice, all the
I know
it's Hampton, so this is a Darling Stadium's schedule.
Well, then it would have to be.
Yeah.
Well, that was like the Daily Press.
Yeah.
Talking about the girl kicker.
Yeah.
Tonight's game, Menchville and Heritage being played at Darling Stadium. I don't think so. Right there in the headline.
Duval took care of our building here, our press box.
That's nice. Oh, that's the Duval folks.
Yes.
Who did this whole thing here where we have we ought to try and get a camera here sometime to show the fans how high tech we've become.
We become high tech.
That's right. We have
no problem seeing the monitor now.
No, because it's buried in the desk.
It's right between us. The only time we have trouble is when
one of us puts something up there, like an elbow or something. All right, the ball marked at the 36-yard line, kind of not paying as close attention as we should be here, Bob. 5:01 remaining in the fourth quarter. 2nd down and 10. In motion is Tillery. Mayo.
Mayo
into the open. Flag down on the play, so this may come back. It's in that area where you might have had a hold, and that's the call.
Yeah. Mayo found a nice crease there.
Yeah, but that crease was created by a hold, I'm afraid, is going to be the call. I didn't see it on the replay, but the flag came out behind the play, and that is the call.
And this is a point of foul,
spot foul.
Spot foul. That's what I want to say.
And you know, if you recall back to that Phoebus game that we did, and I won't talk over Charlie. He'll let him tell you what the call is.
On the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, 2nd down.
And you can hear him nice and loud.
Hear you.
But if you remember that Phoebus game, Kecoughtan really hurt themselves a lot with inopportune timing of penalties and turnovers. So they've done it here. They had a big first down almost at midfield, and instead you're looking at 2nd and 20, and that's a tough hole to put yourself in. In motion is Tillery. Play action. McMillan wants to throw. He's just throwing it up, and it is caught. Caught at midfield, 45-42, first down.
Who is that?
It is number 14. Is that what it is?
I missed it.
I'm trying to, if he'll just put his jersey down, I'll tell you who it is. It is number 14. And that is Tyree Barnes.
Right.
Watch this replay. McMillan just drops back and just unloads. He just said, oh, I'm going to throw it down the field and you go up and get it, and Tyree Barnes did.
He did go up and get it.
The 41-yard line of Hampton. So don't put the nail in the coffin yet. Kecoughtan with 4.5 minutes remaining has a first down at the Hampton 41. Out of the gun, McMillan wants to throw, and it's incomplete. Almost intercepted.
He said it, yeah, just
almost intercepted by Schuler. And again, Barnes was the intended receiver.
I do want to mention that the second half is brought to you in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home. They're conveniently located at Hampton Center Parkway, North Armstead Avenue. The phone there is number 827-4670, and Nancy Staten is the manager. And, of course, Zooms with their Beantown coffee, fried chicken, potato wedges, Krispy Kreme donuts, ham
pizza.
and cheese.
They have pizza.
Oh, yeah, you love the
Zooms
pizza.
up there where I'm at. I got gas there when I was standing in line.
Citgo gas.
Citgo gas, yes.
That's, absolutely.
And the pizza.
And Ham Chevrolet Jeep Miles. They're located 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. Give them a call, 838-5450.
Kecoughtan has no timeouts remaining now.
3 for 14.
Have plenty of time.
3 for 14, 2 interceptions, 26 yards. That's the stats for McMillan tonight. Out of the shotgun, second down and 10. McMillan steps up, now wants to run with it, and is down, and a late contact. Don't see a flag. I think it was just kind of inadvertent, but he was down when he was hit.
That could have been close.
Yeah, that could have been a penalty. Yeah, you can see the flag blowing pretty briskly in the breeze. Watch the replay. You be the judge. Was this a late hit?
Well, he may have been blocked. Let's see. No, he wasn't blocked.
No, he was down. The man who hit him was not blocked into him, which is what I think you were trying to say.
Yes.
In any event, it's third down and about 5. McMillan with a big third down for the Warriors, going for it all. And it is knocked away on a good defensive play. Beautiful job defending that at the last second. Todd Nolan, number 9, knocked the ball away from Kelvin Irving. Watch this replay. This was not a bad throw, but a perfect play to break up the pass. Otherwise, it was 6 points.
Yeah.
So now the Warriors have a huge decision to make. No timeouts remain for the Warriors. 3.5 minutes left. It's fourth down and 5, and they are going for it. Needless to say, they have to at this point.
Oh, they have no choice. Hampton is all they're going to do is just grind it out and run the clock out.
So McMillan will not line up in the gun. And now a penalty flag for delay of game. That's the 4th delay of game we've had tonight. The other 3, I believe, were against Hampton.
Yeah, they were.
So they've had, the officials have had the clock being closely watched. Yep, 3 delay of games against the Crabbers, and this one could not have come at a more inopportune time for the Warriors with a 3rd down and 5. I mean, 4th and 5. Now they at 4th and 10. And again, still have to go. We got trips to the right. And we've got one man uncovered over there. Got a different quarterback throwing it back to McMillan. Knocked away by the Crabbers, number 5, Fairley.
Well, Tim, had he caught it, he'd have been out of bounds and short of the first down.
No, that was perfectly played. Derek Fairley reached up and watched this replay. He's going to bat the ball away and just ended the opportunities more or less for the night. So that kind of leaning this way here.
Well, I know, but both of these have done such a good job. And,
That's
you know,
true.
So I
but
thought
that last play was key, too.
Hey, Danny, they got the big smoke in one tech. They'll put it
Yep, that's your point is well taken, Bob. We're doing a little debating here on the players of the game. We got about 5 for each squad we could
it's just unbelievable.
genuinely give. There's been some great efforts from both teams.
I don't feel like, Schuler's done a great job. Farley's done a great job, both offense and defense, both of them. Robertson's done a good job. White, Brandon Smith. But I like Trevor Broughton, number 73. I think he just played an outstanding game.
All right.
For the Crabbers.
And you couldn't go wrong with any of those choices.
No.
And for Kecoughtan, you got Mayo, who's played great. Tillery has been outstanding. Gaddis, McMillan, McCullough, and Barnes. Barnes with that big catch. But we're going to go with Gaddis. So those are our players of the game. We'll give you those again as we wrap it up in a few minutes here. But still got some football to play. The way that ball has been passed around tonight, nothing is in the books yet with just a 7-0 game.
Well, I tell you, I don't believe that a Hampton runner is not going to have both hands on that ball.
Now, Charlie, this one, I agree with you. This one's close enough to bring out the change. And I'm going on a limb here, Bob. I'm going to say he made it by the nose of the football.
All right, I'm going to get my eagle eye here.
Tackle the ball.
6 inches.
To it.
No, 2 inches. The nose of the ball.
2 inches.
Made it or
say
didn't.
6 inches. I've taken that bet.
Now, I'm going to say the nose of the ball, first down, Hampton.
You've got defensive balance.
Just a guess. Could be wrong.
Oh,
looks like I missed
short.
it.
It's short by a
Whoa.
about a foot and a half.
They put some chain links in that sucker. They put some extra links in that chain. All right. Well, Eagle Eye did not look good on that one.
No, and I mean, not only didn't look good, you were a good 2 feet away.
Yeah. Oh, come on. 2 feet.
That was 18 inches. And you said 6? You changed it to 2. Okay, so 20. 20 inches, 24. How many feet do you want?
I'm not playing poker with you, that's for sure. Well, in any event.
I'll tell you who you don't want to play poker with.
And this man here?
Yeah.
Stoneface?
Stoneface.
3rd down and inches. And they got it easily. So that's going to be pretty much tough for the Warriors now as they have no timeouts remaining. And the Crabbers with a fresh set of downs, and they'll recrank that clock with 2:25 remaining as soon as they get the change set. And the Crabbers can just take as much time as they want. Burn the time off the clock. But I guarantee you one thing, Tommy Austin's squad has given the Crabbers all they wanted tonight. And not a bad-looking 1-2 football team. Crabbers, should they hold on here now and they approach the 2-minute mark, will move to 3-0. They stay on the ground.
And
quarterback keeper.
He's just going to hang on to it and try to run the clock out without handing the ball off. That eliminates the possibility of a fumble.
Well, at least on the exchange.
Yeah.
77, Gartel Harrison.
So the crowd starts to file out here at Darling Stadium.
Oh, this is a neat stat.
What's that?
Roberts has 5 first downs, 0 yards rushing.
Because you got to take off sack yardage.
Yeah. That's different.
1:20 on the clock and moving. And now the Crabbers take a timeout and stop the clock. Interesting. 2nd down and 7. And looked over the defense and called timeout.
Didn't like what he saw.
That is their final timeout of the game. As I said, you see the crowd there starting to file out. The Kecoughtan side of the field, you can see there's not a lot of smiles on their faces, although the cheerleaders, the band, and the I guess those are the flag persons and all the different Kecoughtan.
I think they call them flag twirlers.
Flag twirlers.
Yeah,
they're still smiling. They're having a good time because they're out here to have a good time.
That's right.
And we encourage you to bring the family out. It's a little chilly tonight, but if you wrap up with a nice jacket, it's a great.
Bring a little blanket
if
you need to.
Yeah, I mean it's not bad. There's see a blanket.
Snuggle up to your loving.
It wasn't uncomfortable. I haven't even got a jacket on, and I'm freezing.
I know, but you made me shut the window.
Well, I'm getting old. But
and you're losing all your weight, all your heat
through my head.
Yeah.
Not to mention other things.
Wear a hat, guy.
But again, we encourage you to come out and support. A lot of football left. Don't let the hurricane and the change in the schedule prevent you from coming out. But again, we remind you, without beating this horse to death, All games now 7 p.m., not 7:30 as so many years they have been. This is Schuler, and Schuler has the first down and almost broke it. Almost broke it as he was dragged down.
That was a neat little wrinkle.
Yeah, dragged down by Chad Hooker to prevent a touchdown. Because had he broken that tackle, I think he might have gone all the way.
Let's see. Let's watch this thing a little.
What I saw was motion on the left side of the offensive line there, but that's another story.
Oh, pull his britches down.
Yeah. Did you not see that too? Looked like the left side of the offensive line might have jerked a little bit.
Premature movement there, but it was undetected.
Schuler, 130 yards rushing tonight. We're inside of a minute to go, and they just really need to take a knee at this point, and that's what Roberts will do. He doesn't want to risk hurting that leg that he's coming back from the broken leg, so needless to say, they'll just take a knee, and they'll have to do it one more time, and then we will be done with this one.
And our players of the game, number 73, Trevor Broughton for the Hampton Crabbers, and number 51.
That's true.
Mike Gaddis.
Bob had a trivia question.
Kickoghtan Warriors.
Bob,
what's the trivia?
What was the last time you saw Hampton take a knee?
I can't remember.
Not very often. You know, this game, 7-0. Last year, these two teams, didn't mention this earlier, 7-3 Hampton won last year. So low scoring, tight defensive game. That's what we expected. That's what we got. As just one score tonight, Derek Fairley on a 15-yard run for the touchdown, and that is the difference in the ball game as Hampton improves to 3-0, and Kecoughtan falls to 1-2 on the season. As you see, both squads congratulating each other on a hard-fought ball game. First game back after a long layoff for both of these schools, and they looked a little rusty tonight, but also gives some good credit to the defense.
Yeah, and defense is always ahead at the beginning of the season anyway.
And this is kind of like starting the season over.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm working on trying to do.
Oh, we're going to stretch a little bit.
So just a reminder, our next game will be back here for the annual Battle of the, I got a t-shirt that says the game, Phoebus and Hampton. I got that from last year, and that will be again coming up. Our next game, the 17th of October, Phoebus and Hampton right here, and it's very possible that both of these teams could still be undefeated at that point.
Give me my pen back.
Yes, sir. All right, tonight's game brought to you by Zooms with 14 convenient Peninsula locations to serve you. By Hampton Chevrolet. Give them a call at 838-5450. And in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, where Nancy Staten is the manager. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank Mike Hauser and Bob Killen for providing stats for us tonight. For Bob Hintz and the entire Channel 46 crew, this is Tim Cole. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.